Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, wherever it is, whenever you're watching this video. Hey, thanks for joining back in. Hey, just want to start off with a new video here. I found a new branch for a local bank I go to, and just like with every new branch, I do a 10 roll challenge or 10 roll investigation. So I did get 10 rolls of each denomination. I got quarters, nickels, underneath there are some dimes, nickels, and pennies. 10 rolls of each. Got a nice little mix of bank wrapped rolls as well as some customer wrapped rolls in there. So let's see what this new bank is going to provide. So like I normally do with this video, I'm going to do a quick little, let's get that zoomed in. There we go. Do a quick little search looking for errors, silvers, of course, new coins for the 2024s that I'm still missing. Got to fill up a couple of my books. And also still missing one 2012. So we'll just go through this real quick with you guys. And like I said, hey, look at that, 2012 and what is that? Oh no, 2019 River Philadelphia. So I am looking for W's. I'll go back and I'll look at some conditions and doubling and errors as such, but just want to go through this one quick, see if there's anything that piques the curiosity. Ooh, dirty. And then I'll bring you in for any finds along the way, see what there is, and see if there's anything good with this new bank. Very friendly service. Looking for error coins like the spinning horse, although I was watching a recent video and I just learned of some new errors I hadn't been looking for. So that's going to give me something new to check on some of these. Ooh, there's a hard one to find. Duke Ellington. That's a 2009 low mintage on there. I don't see any of the strike through on there. Bicentennials. I do come across these and I do put those aside and keep those. And I'll look for, I've been collecting them for a while. I'll probably end up doing a video here soon to look through any of the doubling. I do that just every once in a while just to see if once I gather quite enough to make up a good video. And no W's, nothing of interest on this first roll. So like I said, I'll bring you back in if there are any finds. All right, folks, bringing you in for this one. Usually I'm pretty good at um, discovering that or figuring this out, but take a look at underneath his chin and that date. And there again behind the back of his neck and right at his eyebrows. Normally, I could determine if this is a post-mint damage or not. And this is a 2023 Hovita Adar. But then I'm going to put this on the scope here. Take a closer look at that. It's like missing there. Normally I could determine and say, oh yeah, that's post-mint damage on there. But that's like a chunk. There's some good striations in there. There's no buildup of material. You completely lose the date on there. But yeah, I mean right there, and you see the same thing here on the back of his neck. God We Trust looks good. And there right at the eyes, you see a similar thing. So I don't know. I want to get your thoughts and opinions on that. Is that like a lamination issue? Is that a post-mint damage? An error? I mean, it just looks too clean to be user error, post-mint damage. So make those comments below. Tell me what you think on that. If that's just regular wear and tear, circulation damage, or if you think that might be a strike through or um, mint damage. Be curious to see what you have to say. Alright folks, so here's the summary. Not much. Quarters have been bland for me the last couple hunts. So here is that 2023 with the damage. Again, don't know if that's post-mint or if that's a strike-through error. So put your comments below what you think with those errors. If you think that's post-mint damage or if you think that's a strike-through error. 2023 Hovita Adar. Then I did find three bicentennials, 2 Denver, 1 Philadelphia. Keep those for my personal collection. And then just 2 2009s, the Duke Ellington and the Puerto Rico. So not much for significant finds, no silver, still missing that 2012 Elm Unique, and that is that. So now what we're going to do is move on to our dimes. Our dime hunts again. What do I need? I need a 1969 Philadelphia to complete the clad book. So we're still looking for that one. And then for the most part, just looking for silvers. Not seeing any in here. Just some, wow, really dirty, ugly used ones. 1960, that's got to be maybe a 65, 85. And what's that one? That is a 76. So no silvers in this one. So I'll bring you back in for the dimes if there are any finds. Alright folks, happy day for me. Happy day. Roll 3. Dimes finally paying off here. Second from the end of roll number 3. That is 1969, no mint mark. And you know what that means? That means my last spot, 1969, is filled. So that is the last of my dimes in this book. 1965 to 2004 is complete. Yes. So put this book away and get on back to the dimes. Bring you in for the next find. Alright folks, so that is it for the dimes. 10 rolls, half machine wrapped, half customer wrapped, and nothing. No silvers, no cuds, no doubles. The only thing we did get is we did get to complete this book, the 1969, so that definitely is a win. So this new bank, I don't know about. Quarters were a bust, dimes were a bust. Now we're on to the nickels. So these are, I'm looking here, I've got only two of the rolls are machine wrapped. So they're all customer wrapped, so hopefully this will give us better luck. Got nothing really sticking out at the edges here. Let's see what this one is. 88. So we'll just go through these real quick, and then I'll look again. Hey, 70S, nice way to start that off. I do collect those S's. 69S, wow. Hopefully that's a good sign here. Let's just take a quick look and see where we're at. Alright. That is dirty. You can't read that one. 74. 78. 90. 80. Alright, nothing in this first roll. I'll bring you in for the next find. Alright folks, here we are getting a little concerned. I'm on roll number 5, and this is our first find. And even more so, interesting find, this is a 1952. There we go, 1952. And when I flip it over here for the mint mark, it is a Philadelphia. So not a low mintage, not a key date, but of interest here. Let's get some focus going. There we go. When I look at our area, look at that. Now I gotta look at that crack going across the edge there, and I don't know, that's not my area of expertise. And look how it comes through the cap. And then, is that a lamination error? Is that a die crack? Is that just that it's a well-worn, as you can see on the Monticello there? Is that just environmental damage of being a, what is that, 50, 60, 70-year-old coin on here? So put those comments below. Tell me what you think. Is that a crack? Is that environmental damage? Is that a lamination error? What is it that you think? I'll bring you back in for the next find. Alright, here we are, next roll number 6, giving us our second find, significant find, third of the 10 hunt challenge here, but it's our first one of the 1940s, 1941, Philadelphia. So there we go. We got one from the 50s, one from the 40s, and one, what was that, 1969S. So I'll bring you back in for the next find. Alright, folks, here we are, roll 10. This has been a very slow group, but here's the most interesting of finds. I had to look up because A, really dirty, looks like just a normal nickel there. Flip that over. Nothing overly fancy there, right? But when I flip that back over, that is a, flip it this way, that is a 1972, get the microscope out for you, S. So I think the S, I didn't find it on any of my sheets, and PCGS didn't have it listed separately, but in God we trust. How dirty that is. And you look at that background, nothing fancy on there, but that's probably why, 1970. There it is, 1972S. That is definite S mint mark. It's definitely 1972. But you don't see that mirror finish that you would expect to see on a proof. So that threw me for a loop, guys. Dirty, well circulated. What do you think? I know it should be a proof. It just doesn't have the characteristics of a proof. Well circulated 1972S. Make those comments below. I'll either bring you in for the next find, or I'll bring you in for the summary because we're in the final roll here. Alright, folks, so here we are for the summary of the nickel section of it. Again, not too many finds. I'm actually really depressed. Usually nickels are better, but this is a new bank and first time going there, so it gives me an idea. Might not need to go back to that bank. I did get a 1969 San Francisco. Got a 1970 San Francisco. Like I said, I'm very dirty on this one. I collect these and keep these just because I don't see San Francisco mints too often. And it's just that clue and that cue to make sure we pick up everything. So here's a 1972 San Francisco. But like I said, I could start seeing maybe a little bit of the mirror-like background on this. But in all truthfulness, this does not have the shine or the frosted reliefs like you see in traditional. I mean, you'd have to get very, very close. And the camera's not going to do it justice, zoomed in that way. right around the words Monticello, you can see more of that shine, mirror-like shine. But really, this has just been way too um, way too circulated to have any of those proof-like uh, characters. But I put it in a flip just to protect it, and if it is an actual 1972 S proof, that was going to be 3,200,000 um, minted, so being a 3 million minted coin, I did want to get that at least put in a flip. The other two finds, again, very common coins. We have a 1941 Philadelphia, and we have that 1952, and that also, or come on, if I could flip it, wow. This is a Philadelphia, but this had that potential lamination. I need somebody who's much better coin collector than I am to look to see if that was a die crack or a lamination error, or if that's just post-mint damage. Feel free, like I said, guys, make your comments on that. Proof like nickel and that die crack or that lamination era, make those comments down below. Click that thumbs up and hit that like button. Always appreciate it. Now the pennies I'm getting a little more excited about. Okay, I've got 10 rolls of pennies, but these are the ones I like. These are some older rolls that I normally don't see. So this is what gets me excited here. So let's pick out one of these old rolls. Nice, dark Detroit Wrapper Company. Can't even make that out. So I'm hoping, let's hope this is as old as these wrappers are, the coins inside of them. But let's do this together, and then I will move on. Wow, that is in there tight. There are some dark ones, there's some new ones. Oh, there's a Canadian popping out there. Let's just see, 1962, that's going to be a young head. Ooh, so this might have some, there we go. That's what I needed. That is all looking dark, and that is all looking circulated here. So let's just do a quick flip through here. 1974. That's like AU shine on that. I see a lot of those 74 Denvers like that. Let's take a look here. 70, there's another old Canadian, 1969. So we have 1962 and a 1969 Canadian out of this so far. And they are all memorial. They're all going to be copper, 1974s, most of these. Oh, there's another one, 1965 Canadian. 74, 1974, 1974, 1970, 1970. Wow, those are all 1974s. So, all copper, 1974, nice old row. But if we look at there for the Canadians, we got the 1962, 1965, and 1969. So those Canadians are all the young head, as people will call them. Nice Queen Elizabeth there. Good ones to take a look for my collection. I'm going to add them to it. All right. I'm going to get sorting through these, cleaning these up, and get going on my pennies. I'll bring you back in for all the finds. There we go. Very next one. Look at that. That is a King George the 6th on that. Let's flip that the right way. 1948. There's an old Canadian right there. 1948 Canadian. Nice. Too bad that can't be the Wheaties here. 58. There it is. First Wheatie of the find. 1958. Dark. A little bit dirty and worn, but that's 1958 Denver. We got our first wheat. That was roll number 2. All right, here we are on roll number 5, and we are getting our second wheatie for the day. Coming up, backside up here. Nice dark toned. Let's see on the date in 3, 2, 1. 1943, 48. It's 1948 Denver. Not bad. Nice dark toned, but a wheat scent nonetheless. Bring you back in for the next find. All right, here we are on roll number 7, bringing us in our third wheatie. Make sure that's right. Second, third. Oh, got too many. Wheat, and number 3. And this showed up obverse side up. 1956 is what I saw. A little dirty on that, but it is a 56, so there it is. Wheat scent number 3 on roll number 7. Bring in for the next find. And one more find for roll number 7. This is our 2009 presidential Lincoln scent, and this is Philadelphia, and that is the presidential life design. So another good find, 2009 presidential life. Bring you back in for the next one. All right, folks, so here we are at the end of 10 rolls of pennies, and wow, did these 10 customer wrapped rolls just totally perform. I mean, look at all these finds. This is a lot. So to go through, we had one 1959, first year they had their memorial scent. Up here we've got, what do we have, 39 1960s. We had 139 1970s, and that's also including, I mean, look at these beautiful AU, almost mint state, uncirculated it looks like in many cases. I mean, just nice, shiny, new, well, not new, these are all 1974 Denvers. So those were some great finds along the way. We had, what do we had? We had 30 from 1980, 81, 82, and I did weigh out the cappers to make sure only 1982 cappers were in these piles. But of foreign finds, you know, this is the advantage of East Coast, man. This is somebody who probably took Grandma and Grandpa's coin bin and just wrapped up everything. Because, I mean, everything across the board, all those, that's 42%. Almost half the 10 rolls, 42% were copper. So 1982 and earlier. But look at these Canadians. Probably the pride and joy of the Canadians. And again, I do collect Canadians just because my dad started it, but look at that, 1942. And on the 1942 Canadian, that's King George VI. I mean, that's still dark copper, but 1942 Canadian. We had 2 1962, 3 1964, 3 1965, the 1967 bird scent. Those are always just a fun 1 year off that they did that. We had 1 1969, 1 1971. We had also had 1 1980 and 1 1983. So 2 of the modern ones, but I mean, that's still a lot of Canadians to have in 10 rolls. Other fun finds, we did have this copper toned dime in there, so that was a good find. That's a 1990, so how that got so copper I don't know, but it sort of makes sense how that got mixed in with pennies color wise. We did have our 1948, and that is our 48 wheat scent. And my lighting's off. That's 1948 Denver. To look on that. We also had a 1956. a little bit more beat up, but again, that is wheat cent number 2. We had wheat cent number 3, which is in 1958, the last year the Wheatie was made available. So 3 wheat cents. We also were able to provide that Professional Life 2009 Lincoln cent as well. So a nice spread of the fines. Now the other fine I didn't bring you in for because it was roll 10 is this one, and I just need your opinion, your thoughts on this. I got 2 things I noted with this. Is when we look at, this is a 1996, get that dirt off there, 1996, and I noticed 2 things on that. First of all, 96, this might be the DDO if we look at that S and that T in particular, and that's where I keep looking at these with different angles to say, is this a machine doubling when I look at it that way, but then when I look at the top of the S and the top of the T, but then you don't see it with the U and the R, so that I don't think would be traditional machine doubling. This might be the 1996 double die obverse. But also what I noticed on that is when you look at the 1996, where's that focus? Look at that little crack through the 6. That's a little die crack on that. That's going underneath the 6. That's how I know it's not post-mint damage. So we got 2 nice pieces on here. We've got this die crack and potential for machine doubling or DDO. I think that's the FS 101 for the pennies. So like I said, what a group of finds here for our pennies. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and I'll bring you in for a final overall summary of this hunt. Alright folks, so here we are with the summary overall. Most of the finds here. So I did take out the San Franciscos from our nickels because they're just personal collection, not necessarily significant finds. But here for those nickels, we have our 1941 Philadelphia. We had our 1952 Philadelphia with a potential focus, there we go, with a potential lamination error. We did have that 1972 San Francisco Mint, which should be a proof, but that's been well circulated. You lose the luster from the relief, but it does have full steps, so I did put that in as in a flip. From our quarters, we did have the 2023 P with that potential excuse me, with that potential strike through right there at the base of the chin, at his eyes and the back of his neck, not knowing what's going on there. Philadelphia Mint, Oviedo Dar, but that is definitely not environmental damage on that, so potential strike through error on that. You just saw me go through all of our pennies, but a recap, we had 14 Canadian, the 1 dime is insignificant. We had 3 wheat cents, 1 2009, and that potential I haven't flipped yet, DDO and die crack on that. The other one that's not shown here is I did get that 1969 Philadelphia dime, which went into my book and completed that book. So there you go. I mean, overall, for 10 rolls of each denomination, a very, very successful hunt. So I'm happy with these results. Make those comments below. Share your thoughts, your wisdom. And thank you for subscribing, for supporting, for clicking that thumbs up. And have yourself a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And happy hunting.